All right.
Hello, and welcome to HoneyBadgerRadio. I'm the founder. Do I usually say founder or host? I think I say host.
This
Okay,
is not a
I'm
good week to ask me.
I guess I'm both the host of this channel and the founder of HoneyBadgerRadio.
Yeah.
And
The birther
I am
of this
with
brainchild.
the birther of this brainchild. And I am with Hannah Wallen, who is here to tell us about the topic for this week's Thursday show on Badger live streams, which will be featured on Badger live streams at 7:30 p.m. Eastern this Thursday. If I haven't told you already, it's Thursday. So tell me, Hannah, what is the topic for this show, and why did you choose it? And who are you going to have on? So
Actually, I'm going to have you on. I'm drafting you because you're the one who coined this phrase, if I understand right. If not, you'll have to correct me on it, but I think you did.
I think so, yeah.
So we're going to be talking about how one good man guys end up, this is feminists who view themselves as like the one good man of the world. They end up rationalizing their own abusive aggression, both like toward other men, which they engage in quite a bit, and toward anyone who questions their ideology, as if it is good aggression. And like, so it's acceptable, and it's like that's their outlet for that kind of aggression. And I chose this topic because I keep running into them lately, to be honest. And it's just like it started to become such a thing that I'm thinking there must be, either
Something
I'm just
going on.
pissing off nests of angry feminist men, or feminist men are ramping it up, which might mean that, some message has gone out, either in class or something else where they're saying, we need
Go
you.
attack the internalized misogyny, girls.
Yes. And
Go attack those sluts, those mental sluts.
what I'm thinking is that, because they're specifically attacking the men's rights movement now, right? Like, you guys don't do anything, and you guys actually are detracting from the movement that helped us, and blah, blah, blah. There are no men's shelters that were started by MRAs, or that MRAs have done anything to support, so apparently nothing that we helped Cafe with counts. And, none of that stuff. So I just wanted to talk about sort of the logic that goes into that, and
Also-
the way the behavior manifests.
Don't they realize that it's actually quite difficult to take well, this really shouldn't be a political position, but it is a political position because it's politicized by feminism. It's difficult to take this kind of a political position, and it's difficult to fight a war while you're simultaneously being the one taking care of the casualties. So, and in Canada, you really can't actually advocate for these kind of political positions and be a charity. So it's like these are two different things. They cannot be joined together. And to be honest, there is a real need, in my opinion, to push back against ideologies that assume, I don't even know if I want to call them ideologies, but forms of social manipulation that assume that men do not care about women, and assume that that particular tool of social manipulation invented men caring about women, because this is an attitude towards men that's extremely detrimental to their mental health. And one of the manifestations, of course, is this one good manism.
Mm-hmm. We had a one good man in a conversation I was in recently who, there was another guy in the conversation that he just started picking on. And he didn't just pick on him, right? Once the other guy realized, I'm not going to get any rational arguments out of this guy, he's going to keep calling me names, he's going to keep being verbally abusive, and, he's now telling me he's reporting all my comments, so he blocked him. Right? So the guy that he blocks makes an alt account and starts harassing him again. And we all called him out on that. And he literally pretended to be his own cousin, with, just his name in reverse, and expected that to prevent him from getting in any trouble with Twitter. And when he got suspended for creating an alt account to harass somebody who had blocked him, he went through his 12-hour suspension, come back from it, and solicited a bunch of his friends to come harass this guy. And he ended up, having to basically bar fight on Twitter with a bunch of people because of this guy was so butthurt, basically, that he was telling him, no, I won't argue with you anymore. So, like, it's really rampant. As bad as the guy gave to me, which was kind of, he was an asshole to me too, but it was nothing compared to the way he treated Problem. The guy goes by Problem on Twitter, and he was just outrageously, like, stalkerishly abusive toward Problem.
Yeah, and this is a really good topic to cover, because there is one thing that's interesting, and it's not just violence or aggression that the one good man has towards other men. There is an excuse for being aggressive and violent and cruel towards women when they don't abide by the underpinning or the mechanics of what he thinks they should in order to maintain his identity. Now, this is something I see around the world in different cultures. Men who have grown up with a particular expectation about female behavior, if a woman exits that expectation about that behavior, then she's fair game. Now I'm not going to say that honor killings, because I think the evidence is that there is a significant amount of men who are subject to honor killings as well, but women are also subject to them, and that's when they defy the expectations of their social role. Now, this is usually established by another woman, but men also engage in that. They engage in this kind of violence towards women who do not occupy the role that they expect them to. And this is as true for cultures that engage in honor killings and stuff like that as it is for, our culture isn't quite as physically violent, but there's a certain amount of social violence that we engage in, bullying, ostracization, and stuff like that. Now, that behavior, that if a woman fails to abide by the rules and the constrictions on her behavior that establishes the fundamental basis of a man's identity in this particular schema. So, for example, if you're a woman and you refuse to pretend to be a victim in all of the various ridiculous forms of victimhood that feminism establishes, you become fair game for male violence. So male feminists feel free to harass you, to stalk you, to threaten you. In some cases, extreme cases, there have been instances of people that we know, or male feminists that we know that's engaged in, killing a woman. But that was domestic, probably because as a result of her deciding to leave him. But that be it as it may, there's an excuse to or a lenience towards violence that's directed towards women who don't uphold the expected foundation of the man's identity in the particular belief system or ideology or culture.
In fact, it's the only instance in which a man can be violent or aggressive toward a woman and still remain respectable. Like, they can beat the hell out of each other regardless of whether they stay within those bounds or not. And they can even do it for fun, right? Beat the hell out of each other for fun. And women can beat on each other to a degree in the same way. But a man cannot cross those lines. Like, a woman can cross those lines, but a man cannot cross those lines and still be respectable unless it's under that specific circumstance. So that's definitely one clue. That we definitely should analyze this quite a bit more. Yes. Now, fair warning, before we start taking it seriously during the actual show, I'm going to be taking the piss out of feminist men a bit prior to the show in the opener, because like I told you guys when I wrote the last song that I introduced with the line, "Y'all are gonna love me or hate me for this," I wrote this one while sleep deprived. So you guys got something weird to look forward to this time. And hopefully it comes out well.
Well, it should be entertaining no matter what. Okay, so if you would like to see more of this particular topic, and I'm sure you do, please go in the low bar. We'll put a link to Badger live streams. And once again, it's going to be this Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Tune in and enjoy the show. And thank you for your kind attention, my lovely specimens.